Hello everyone, this is a little update for the ResticDash project, which I showed several weeks ago. The ResticDash project, in short, is just a dashboard to show the status of several Restic-based backups. It's based on a Svelte-5 frontend in combination with a Python backend. In this video, I didn't make any changes for the Python backend, so I'm just showing some modifications to the frontend. Back then I was using the Flowbite UI library, and the Flowbite UI library is based on the Tailwind framework, which works very well and provides code snippets for almost anything. Obviously, I tried to use Flowbite Svelte. Nevertheless, I found the library which wasn't compatible with the previous from Svelte, so I used Flowbite directly. In the last week, though, I found another library, svelte-5-ui-lib, which also uses Flowbite, and it's ready for the use with runes. So this is what I'm going to install now. Okay, here you can see an installation guide for the svelte-5-ui library. If you're starting a new project, I suggest to go along with this guide. We don't need everything in here because some portions are already installed in ResticDash. Some remark about this configuration here for Svelte config.js. Here in this example, the runes mode is enabled for all components. You might not want to do this if you're having old components as well. As an alternative, you can enable the runes mode for certain components. Just have a look at the guide to runes, and there you can see there is a Svelte options runes, which allows to configure a component separately. I will provide all links into the description box below afterwards. So now let's get started. First, we need to uninstall Flowbite itself, because this dependency will be installed through the new dependencies. And here we're just adding the svelte-5-ui-lib. And after that, we're installing the Flowbite Svelte icons. So, as mentioned before, I won't do this in here, but our code has this configuration here for the plugin. Because we uninstalled Flowbite and we're using the Svelte library, we don't need this plugin anymore. And we need to adjust this path here. So let's see. Here we go. So that should be it. And just to give it a try if it's working. So let's see. Until it's been loaded, and the application behaves as before. Okay, the first thing we are going to do is to replace the error message component. And to show it off, I will just create a little cheat in here, so we always see an error, even in successful cases. So if we're down here, as you can see, oops, I had to start it again. So as you can see, we will have an error here, and the error component uses the old Flowbite code, which is the snippet in here, and we want to replace it with a corresponding UI component here, alert. And we're also needing this dismiss functionality, so there must be some component with dismissible stuff. Here, dismissible alerts, and we're just copying it directly. And I'm putting it in here. And as you can see here, there is a snippet. The snippet is a portion that will be inserted into the slot icon. I'm just using a bigger one here, slightly bigger one. and I'm copying the span portion, which is the text from our old component. And for the dismissal, I'm using the function dismiss here. That would be the on-click dismiss. And for the CSS style, I'm just reusing our original CSS style, which needs to be put on the attribute div class. So this should be it. So we can drop the old Flowbite code. Obviously, we need to import alert and info-circle solid. So alert comes from svelte-5-ui-lib, and info-circle solid comes from svelte-icon. So it was the other way around. So now let's restart our application. And let's see whether something has changed. And as you can see, it's still loading. As you can see, the component itself looks the same. Now let's check whether dismiss still works. And it seems to work correctly. So that's the first component we transferred from the old Flowbite to the svelte-5-ui-lib component. Okay, at this point, I won't go through the conversion of other components because this might be quite boring. And I try to keep this video as short as possible. I will only go through some additional changes I made to the ResticDash application in the front end. Okay, I will go through additional changes within the front-end code. One of the most important ones is a deserialization process for the stores. As you can see, now there are indirect functions here for the process. Beforehand, I used the constructors from archetype directly. Now I'm using them here in the function new object. This function makes sure that in case there is a problem, this problem will be reported onto the console, so you won't miss anything out in here. Other than that, I've added additional routes here for backups. As you can see, this is a page which provides a list of the snapshots. So I will show how it looks like right now. You just go click onto the backup process itself, and then you get a list of all those snapshots, and you can just click on it and you see some information about it. Obviously, that's not the final state. I will make much more changes in the future, but this is what it's all about. And this is a dynamic page. That's the reason why I've changed the pre-rendering function to auto and static server-side rendering to false. So the application itself is now an SPA page. So this is essentially it for the front end. If you might have any kind of question, feel free to post it in the GitHub. Bye bye.